Just go on the broad picture, Matthew, does it tick that box that you wanted your fans to stand up, applaud, be proud of the way in which they go about their footy?
Yeah, I did for a half. So we didn't rock up for 60 minutes, unfortunately. It's hard to put your finger on it until we go back and have a really good look. We didn't see us for that first half, so the way we train, the way we play, that unfortunately there's no timeouts in footy, and we couldn't make one until quarter time, and then we weren't able to bring it back after that in the second quarter either. But to the boys' credit, the conversation at half time and getting back to what we do best, I think we saw it in that third quarter. And there was, the moment when the crowd are that loud, and it's off the back of the style of football we're playing. It seems so simple, and yet it is tough to do. And our opposition today deserve credit because of the way they came out in the first half. And although we didn't execute well at all, and we gave them opportunities, they played good footy, and so they deserve to be where they were at half time. The third quarter's pleasing. The fourth quarter, even to get ourselves in a position to win the game of footy and be 19 points up with 7 or 8 minutes to go. Our next step is learning how to win that, and winning more of those than you lose. We had our chances, and in the end, it fell the other way. But a number of little things that happened during that period that we'll look back on, and they're moments. That's not the reason the game went the way it did. It's the first half, unfortunately, and it surprises me. Considering our group, we were revved up, ready to go, maybe too revved up, but we went away from what we do.
When you see the opposition trying to work down the clock, what should your team be doing at that last?
At the very end?
No, the last 3 minutes, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to give you too much of the way we play that moment, but we have structure set. We have, it's what we train for. Really, is that moment.
Did they do it the way you wanted?
Look, to be honest, they did it reasonably well, the boys. I know there were some uncontested. It looked like, come on, get up. As I said before, it's not where the game was lost, but some will say we've got to be better in that moment. Yeah, of course we do. Get up, less uncontested, less time off the clock, maybe gives us one more chance at going inside 50. But everything else we get within, I don't know how far it was, maybe 10 centimetres off the line. And then we're all miserable at the moment because it's a draw. At the moment, our guys are gutted. They're in the rooms at the moment. We're really developing a young group. We're making massive ground on this time last year. This time last year, we're sitting in there celebrating a win over a high-quality team. I still think we're ahead of where we were last year, and we didn't get that result today. But the bigger picture is the key to this. Okay, what did we learn from today? Well, there's a fair bit that we will from that first half, and it's pretty stark. When we play the way we play, we're a very good side.
So what's the difference between the team that allows so much ball to come from the defensive half and carve all its way up to the scoreboard, to a team that doesn't allow Fremantle to find an open opportunity for a while? Yeah, well, there's not a lot of difference between that. There's not a lot of difference between the top 4 teams in the comp and the bottom 4. It's consistency of getting it done. We've shown we can do that. We've shown we can play a style that the ball doesn't move length of ground that easily. But the first half it did. The first half it moved wherever it wanted. It came through the corridor, it switched around us. And Fremantle, to their credit, they'd shown that through the pre-season, so it wasn't something we hadn't scouted. As I said before, maybe, we had some guys playing their first games of footy in their careers. We had a few that had come back from being out of the game for a long time. So we were challenged in that space. Were we maybe too pumped up for this game and we just lost our way when it came to method? We'll look back over it, but it's reasonably clear in that first half, and that's where we were able to adjust it at half time. We put some vision up on the screen, we sit down as a group, and that's what I love about this group. When they're given it and they're given clarity about what's not working, they're able to adjust pretty quickly and get it done.
Were you tempted to put Jordan Dawson back in defence before half-time, given the way it was turning out?
Yeah, it was discussed through that second period. And it was more of a balance of what we were and weren't getting in game. We made a couple of changes at the break, just positional-wise, and just from what we were seeing in the game, it won't necessarily be something that we go with long term. It's just how the game played out today. Dawson, that was his first game back for a while. We're asking a lot of him to come back in after not playing footy and expect it to be at its best. And we've seen so much over the pre-season where he's brought so much to this footy club. So, he made an impact in the second half, which was really positive for us. He can play a number of positions.
Is it because, I guess, of maybe the lack of match fitness to an extent, what was why he was, I guess, playing so forward of the ball at times in the first and second quarter?
Hard for me to answer. I think if you look at it off the back of us not playing the way we played, we weren't predictable to each other. So, I can't speak for Dawson. We'll sit down and talk through how that game was playing out. But if we're not predictable and we didn't execute with the ball, we had our opportunities. We were slow with the football in that first half. It looked a little bit kick mark. And that can be attributed to a few things. We're playing from deep in our back third. The opposition had us pressured, which under pressure sometimes you go away from what you are. So credit where it's due, as I said, Fremantle played well.
And Matthew, your thoughts on Josh's debut today? Obviously the fans will be buzzing about that, if anything else.
Yeah, I hope they are. I hope they're buzzing. He's a fantastic young man. When given an opportunity, he's pretty deadly in front of goal. So, really pleased for him and Jake, playing their debuts. They both impacted the game. Josh especially, he's had a real impact right throughout pre-season. He's a complete footballer. He works hard off the field. He's competitive, and then he has that polish. Even in the end, I think we kicked 1-5 in the last, and we had a number of opportunities, there, which we'll go back and look at. I don't know if we can do any more goal kicking. You pump that in. Outstanding debut from both kids.
Has Miller given you any feedback about what it's like to come back?
Sorry?
Wayne Miller had given you any feedback on what it was like for him?
Yeah, we had a good chat at half-time. The speed of the game, this is what's underestimated when you watch it. It's an easy game from the stands. It's the speed of the game that catches you out. And for Junior, when we're not playing the way we play, it makes it even harder because we're chasing the entire time, we're defending more. We were playing him behind the ball at that point, and he's constantly, the ball's coming back at speed, and he's forced to defend over and over, and then we ask him to get into the offence as well. So, and that's the whole team. We're talking about one player. That's the entire back line. It's hard to do that. It's hard for your midfielders if we're not transitioning correctly in offence for them to then keep flipping into defence. So I thought when we made the positional change, I thought he impacted the game and he showed what he will bring. And it's a good sign for us that he was able to get through and grind his way through a game and impact it in the second half.
I was just curious as to whether he had found it more demanding than the game that he'd left a couple of years ago.
I haven't gone into that detail reach with him yet. But it's a good one. I will ask him that, what he sees in the game. And, the game, there's no doubt the game's faster. There's a lot more, press in the game. There's a lot more aggression coming forward, than possibly what we saw a few years ago. But he'll be much better for today.
Just on Jordan, what do you like as a coach of him playing forward of the ball? What do you like having him there?
Sorry.
I guess when you say we're going to put you forward of the ball, what do you like about having Jordan Dawson there rather than on ball or behind the ball?
Our plan going in was for Geordie to spend a bit of time forward because we've seen him impact, and he's confident when he does go forward. He's very good overhead. Again, we didn't see a lot of it in that first half. So when we looked at it at half-time, it wasn't really around what Geordie wasn't doing. It was more about how can we change this game to find us an advantage. And for him to go behind the ball, and we know what he brings, and he's played the majority of his football behind the ball, we felt that would help us as a team. And it did. He was able to go back there and just bring that tiny bit of composure and ball use that we were after. So forward of the ball, it won't be something we write off. Today was more about, first game back, is it a chance to go forward and see if it can impact the scoreboard at times. It's pretty tough to run around midfield wing for the entire game, so if you haven't played a lot of footy of late.
Matthew, you said the players will go, but how is it for you personally when you work that hard to get in a winning position and then see the players not be able to get over the line? What's your emotion, I guess?
Before I come in here, I take a couple of really deep breaths. Only because we're competitive. I hate losing. And I feel for the group, and I probably give them a little bit too much of a spray in there, but then I give them the love again because the response they give at half-time makes you proud of what I know they've got ticker, but I get so frustrated for them because I didn't, we as a coaching group sitting upstairs didn't see us in the first half, neither did our members and supporters who came to watch. But in the second half, we're able to flick the switch, and it's so simple. It's trusting each other and playing the way we play. So I'm proud of them. They're a ripping group of kids, but just a few deep breaths, coach, afterwards, and we'll sit down and review it this week and work through. We need to win those games of footy. We're not here to come second.
Since you opened that door, do you like coming in here?
I love coming in here, checking you guys. Normally first. I prefer to come in here first. The winning coach comes in first, doesn't he?
What do you say to Rowan Hills, I guess after, that kind of turnover, that costly turnover late, what do you say to the guy who's always so keen to do, everything, he just makes an unfortunate mistake at the end? So that's a moment. That's not why we lost the game. And I know that's a hard one because people say, well, hang on, if that doesn't happen, you don't lose the game possibly. That's 60 minutes we weren't at the ground. We were here, but we didn't play our style. That's where we lost the game. It's got nothing to do with that, a moment there, or does that ball get punched through at the very end? There are moments. We're looking at a lot bigger picture than that.
One of the blokes I thought who stood up, Jimmy Rowe, how did you find his performance?
Yeah, I love Jimmy. So Rowy's, as is every player, Rowy's a product of the team. And when our guys compete ahead of the ball, he comes into the game. From memory, very first centre bounce of the third, we go inside 50 and our big boys fight and bring the ball to ground. It's not pretty, but Jimmy Rowe, he's pretty. And he should thank his big boys for bringing it to ground because on the deck he's as good as any. And if we don't bring it to the deck, which I don't know what the intercept marks were in the first half, but it would have been 12 possibly, unfortunately he's not going to impact the game. It's a good lesson for a lot of our boys, and that's only one part of the game where there's others that need their teammates to play roles.
Do you think you looked fitter in the third and fourth quarter than you were last year after the work you've done with Burgess?
Oh, we know we're fit. Yeah, we know we're running. Now, both teams, through that 30 degrees, round one, that's quite a challenge. Both teams, I thought, had their moments where they looked a bit fatigued, but I thought, come the second half, we came in at three-quarter time. We knew we'd run it out. There's a little bit in there of us getting our structure right, getting our style right, a bit of risk-reward. Maybe we hang on. But as I said before, the first half, we would have worked harder in the first half because we chased. When we look at the GPS, I can guarantee you we would have run more in the first half. The second half, when we're playing front and centre footy, our backs are getting a nice spell behind. But yeah, we're fit. Now, there's a couple today that were playing their first game back, and COVID's going to affect teams throughout the year. It's going to be a challenge where guys are coming off 7 days of being locked down. So there's an art to how you get that done. Obviously doing the right thing by the community.
Just check on McPherson too. That was the initial thing, and I guess
Yeah.
you feel for him given his history with soft tissues.
Yeah, it's a hammy more than likely, but I don't know to what extent at this point. It's really just a hamstring until we can get that one scanned or looked at. How bad that'll be and how many weeks, I'm not sure. Sorry.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, guys.